that there was the episode that I expected to be the mid-season opener. It was pretty much like I expected, with Negan coming back, finding out Daryl was gone, blaming it on Dwight. Alright, again, I took some notes, so we'll start there and make sure I cover the points. I didn't write down too many notes because I was just watching the episode. I really, really enjoyed this episode. It definitely redeemed itself from last week, which I did not like at all. Okay. The thing with Eugene being captured now. The first note I wrote down about him was that after he's looking around his room, after he locks the door and the girl leaves, he turns on the stereo. The song that came on when Eugene turned on the stereo was the same song that Dwight was using to torture Daryl while he was in the box. I thought that was kind of funny because Eugene is kind of like tapping his foot and nodding his head to it. He was getting into it. So it was torturous for Daryl, but Eugene is actually enjoying it. Okay, I thought that was a funny point. Now, I was 90% sure that Jesus is actually the one that had let Daryl out. But we found out it wasn't Jesus. It was actually Dwight's wife. Did I write down her name? I can't remember her name. But she is actually the one that let Daryl out. We saw the confirmation when Dwight got back to his old house. He had the note that said, "Get out now," that she slid under the door to Daryl, and then there was a note that was on a sticky note that was on something in the sink, and he compared the two G's and they're identical. So, and then the note that she wrote to him said that she did it. So we do know that the wife actually let Daryl out. It wasn't Jesus. Now we're seeing the dissension between Dwight and Negan that I had talked about, because Dwight goes out, he went to the old house with, as the note said, that's why they agreed they never got separated. They'd meet up there. He'd show up with beer and pretzels. He put the beer and pretzels on the table to show her that if she does come back, that he did come there. So it wasn't necessarily just to show her that he was there. It was to show her that he still is the old Dwight because he brought the beer and pretzels. Because that was what the whole note was about. He changed. She did it to save his life, and he became what he didn't want to become. So he's changed. He's become one of the saviors now. But he's not. He is, but he isn't. He hit his turning point. He's coming back and realizing that he doesn't have to be a savior. He can change things. And we're seeing the dissension, because the story he tells the doctor is that he saw her and she ran away from him into a horde of the dead. And he tells a slightly different version of that truth to Negan, and that's why Negan kills the doctor. So he's covering for the fact that she's still alive. He knows that if Negan ever finds her, he's gonna kill Dwight, but he takes that risk because he loves her, and he realized that he's becoming a monster, and he doesn't want to be that monster. So I'm getting a few redeeming factors now in the character Dwight. I'm still not, Austin Emilio is the actor's name, I'm still not 100% on him. He's getting better now as time's going on, but I still have, the jury's still out whether or not I like him as an actor. The character, I still don't really dig the character, the way the character's portrayed in the show too much. The comic book character's way better, but that's why we have Daryl. Alright, let's move on here. Eugene is trapped, but he's not stupid. He's really smart. If you notice, he goes back into that whole human genome project thing, which is a complete lie. That's what he told Abraham, so Abraham would protect him and take him to DC. That is a complete lie. Eugene is a high school biology teacher. I don't remember if he has all the PhDs that he talks about. I'm pretty sure he does have at least like one PhD. I know he is a really, really smart guy, but the whole human genome project thing, that's a complete lie. That's to protect himself. So Eugene's back in fight or flight mode. He's not stupid. He knows that he has to tell them what they want to hear or they're going to kill him. Because Eugene, we see that he is starting to kind of be able to slightly defend himself, and you know, we saw it when he bit Dwight's junk in, I think it was last season. So he's becoming a little more resourceful. I believe he wielded a machete a few times and killed a few dead. But he's still a very scared very, very scared character. So he knows what he needs to do to survive, and this is his survival mechanism. Is he just lies? He tells his Human Genome Project, and they're gonna believe him. Now we see when Eugene comes outside and meets Negan after he gets the jar of pickles and he's holding that jar of pickles. Negan pretty much asks him, how do they keep the dead from falling apart? Well, there's no real way to do that. They're dead. Their bodies are decaying. They're going to fall apart. But Eugene comes up with this whole molten metal thing to keep them in place and keep them together, which I think that was just what he thought of, to be honest. But at the same time, I don't think that's going to work, because now the walkers that are moving around and that are more of a threat, they're going to be stationary, so someone can just snake through them. Now, Eugene is helping the Saviors build up their defenses. They have not alluded to this yet, but I really think that this is going to be a key point later on down the road. Eugene's building their defenses, so he knows how to circumvent them and how to just downright destroy them. So at some point, when Eugene gets taken back by Rick, he's going to know how to get in, how to get around, and how to defeat the Saviors Complex. I think that's going to be a big point later on. I could be completely wrong, but right now that's what I think. That's pretty much all the notes that I wrote. So, again, this is where I thought the mid-season was going to open. I thought Negan was going to be a little bit more upset, and I really thought they're going to beat up Dwight a little bit more, but it still kind of played out more or less the way I thought. I did not see throwing the doctor into the furnace coming, but you knew after he dropped the iron, he wasn't going to let it go. I thought he was going to kill him, but I didn't think he was going to throw him in the furnace, so that was a nice touch. So, yeah, I don't have a ton to say about this episode because I really liked it. It wasn't action-packed, but we did get a lot of the details that we've been missing. So now we see that Dwight is turning from Negan. That's how we're going to get that whole Dwight and Rick's group kind of coming together to defeat the Saviors. Well, more or less to defeat Negan, not necessarily the whole Saviors, is because Dwight is branching off from Negan. He's seeing now that Negan needs to be not destroyed, but well, he wants to kill him. He wants to kill Negan, but we'll see how that plays out. I don't think this whole war is going to happen anytime soon. I think they're going to play into it. My original thought was they're going to have the war starting as a season finale. But I think the season finale, we're going to see something along the lines of Rick getting the weapons for this junkyard group and them coming together. I think they're going to play at least another half season before we really see the war between the Saviors and Rick's group. And by Rick's group, I mean all of the groups together. They're going to get behind Rick. So we're going to have Alexandria, we're going to have the Hilltop, we're going to have the Kingdom, we're going to have this new group. And if Dwight gets on the side of Rick, we're going to have Dwight and his Savior group that are all going to be behind Rick to help defeat Negan. And they're going to play this out because that's what they do. But I don't care because I like the drama as well as the action. Okay, can't wait for next Sunday. So hopefully next Sunday is another good episode and we don't have another boring, disappointing episode like we had last week. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to hit that like button, ring that bell, and hit that red subscribe button down below. Thank you.